first football, the passion, the thrill. The passion, the thrill. The stadiums roar, you can feel the chill. You can feel the chill. The teams are ready, the battles will start. The battles will start with dreams of glory, they'll play with heart.
I'm going to have to redo that whole video again next season. Welcome to This is Mappa. I'm Stel, Thassos here, but we have a special guest right here. I've got him in the palm of my hands. He's a hero of the hour, the hero of Paralimni. They need to build a statue of him. Sim Tandy, what's going on, bro?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I wouldn't go that far, but no, I appreciate it.
What are you talking about? I think you're the only defender at Paralimni that's ever scored more than 3 goals in a season.
I don't know. I'm in shock as well, to be fair. But no, I'll take it. It was about time I got some goals as well, so I'll take
Bro,
it.
it's mad because when we was talking after you left Doxa, we were saying, you need to find the club, and you're stressing a little bit, I need to find the club, and then January, you end up at Paralimni, and then you're like the top goal scorer for them in Group B. It's mad.
Yeah.
Hold on. You need to finish that sentence a lot earlier. He's top goal scorer for them.
Yeah.
Oh!
Or stop.
Oh, I didn't even...
Yeah, so Sim and Sabu
Juskovic?
both had...
What about Juskovic?
5.
Juskovic scored a couple.
Maybe Juskovic has 5 as well, but yes.
Which one's Juskovic? What's
your striker? Your Polish guy.
Piotr.
Yeah,
Okay.
Piotr.
Sorry, calling by Piotr. So I think he got 4. He got 4, I think, in the end.
See?
So there you go.
Does he play up front?
That's what they were saying to me. They were saying to me, we might as well get you up top for a couple of games. But
bro, this is mad because was the goal against was it Omonoia Aradippou where you've done this Frank Lampard thing on the edge of the box and side-footed it in.
Yeah.
And then you've gone all Drogba with the header at the weekend.
Yeah.
You've played every position apart from up front and in goal.
You're not wrong. To be fair, I played all across the defense, midfield. Just up front, winger, and in the goal.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, you keep mentioning Chelsea players in the description. It'll be like Kudicini next.
Yeah.
With the whole thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, let's get it right here. When you think back at it, you're at AEK, you spent some time at Karmiotissa, then you got relegated with Doxa. If someone had told you, Sim, a year down the line, you're going to be top goal scorer for Paralimni, you're going to keep them up, what would you have said?
No, I wouldn't have believed them, to be fair. I wouldn't have believed the fact that I was going to be top goal scorer. I think to keep Paralimni up, I mean, that was my goal always going into it. Like, I even believed the same when I went to Doxa. And we had less points then. I think we ended up finishing just 3 points behind. But I mean, this season, I knew, especially with the group of players we had, that was the goal, to stay up. And I believe that from the minute I joined. But in terms of top goal scorer, I wouldn't have believed you, to be fair. But I mean, I would have took it. You know what I mean? So
nice.
It's crazy.
Nice.
It is crazy.
Nice. Well, we're going to go into that. Because we've got loads to go through tonight. I don't know how long you want to stay on, bro, but it's going to be eventful. I promise.
All right, cool.
I promise.
I'm looking forward to it.
That's all. Are we ready for the Group B party?
Group B party?
Group
We're
B
going to
party.
go. Are we going to do it first?
We're going to do it first.
We're going to do it first. All right, let's go.
Let's go with that first. Let's go.
Start the first fight. Who will fall? Who will rise? There'll be fans in the stadium, which is echoes in the night. How many bad weather for raining decisions will turn cheers into cries? It's a Group B party. Only the strong survive.
Right, dead rubber game. Anorthosi beat Salamina by 4-2. Evagoras Haralambu's target of Glasgow Rangers now, apparently, scored 2. And Salamina pulled it back to 2-2. But then Iliev scored a beautiful goal, which the commentator used the word fovero. We've got to use that word. This is absolutely beautiful. And then they grabbed the fourth near the end. Thasso, what did you make of this one?
To tell you the truth, I didn't even watch this one. I was like, it's whatever. But yeah, Salamina again. They played a lot of the younger Cypriot players as well. One of them, 18-year-old left back, scored for him. What was his name? Efthymios. So yeah, doing really well up to a certain point, but tiredness starts to get to some of the more inexperienced players there, and Anorthosis kind of swept up right at the end, didn't they? But yeah.
Yep. One of your former players scored again on the score sheet as well.
Oh yeah, Dimitriou. Yeah, Dimitriou. Yes. Yeah. Again, it would be useful next season. We'll talk about that a bit more later on. But yeah, he would have been useful next season for sure.
There you go. Sim, there's a striker that plays for Anorthosis, the youngster, Charalambous. He's been linked with Kaiserslautern, Brighton, Glasgow Rangers. You've played against him, right?
I think so. We would have. He played again. He played a couple of weeks ago against us. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He scored.
What'd you make of him? Yeah. What'd you make of him?
Yeah, I had a look, to be fair, actually, after the game when I was looking at the fixtures, and I seen. I think he's is he 19 or something?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you can see he's got a knack for goal. He scored 2 against Salamina as well. Good finisher, to be fair, getting himself in the right positions. I mean, I don't know how many games he's played so far this season, but I mean, going into a team like Anorthosis and with the pressure and everything, I don't know. Looks like he's done really well for himself.
Yeah, and he's coming at a time where Anorthosis obviously have got the financial problems, but they sold Rafa Lopez in January, who was the league's top goal scorer at the time. I think 12 goals, wasn't it, Sasso? 12 goals.
Rafa Lopez was top goal scorer in the league until March, even though he'd gone in beginning of February.
Yeah, the kid's come in and he's done fantastic, and I think it's great to see him get the exposure. I mean, we put out a post on X linking him to Glasgow Rangers. Well, we copied the 24 Sport link and put it in there. We got over 50,000 views, and it ended up on the Scottish Sun. So we've helped him a little bit, I guess. I guess, but good luck to him. That's all. Speaking of Anorthosis,
yes,
I think there's only one place to start.
Yes.
You know about this, Sim? You know about this?
Shall I just go for it? Yeah. Okay. So
fire away.
The vehicle belonging to Anorthosis sporting director Antonio Prieto, or Scout, or whatever you want to call him now, whatever his job is now. Anyway, it was targeted by arsonists, according to reports, at around 3:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning. AM and Tuesday morning. I don't know why they do that in Cyprus. They report that it's AM and then say in the morning. Anyway, the 60-year-old's car, which was parked in the driveway of his residence, was engulfed in flames. The fire department rushed to the scene and extinguished the blaze, but the vehicle was completely destroyed. Significant damage was also caused to the covered parking area. Initial investigations suggest the fire was set maliciously, and inquiries are ongoing. So that, according to 24 Sports, Prieto had already warned and expressed concerns to the police about potential attack against him. Now, Anorthosis released a statement on the attack, saying, Anorthosis Famagusta condemns with horror the arson attack by unknown persons on the car of our team leader, Mr. Antonio Prieto. As Anorthosis, we hope that the police will quickly clarify the case with the perpetrators being brought to justice, and we hope that the specific attack is not related to Mr. Prieto's professional activities in the field of football. Such attacks have no place in sports. Now, in me talking about this, Stel's been putting up a couple of videos on the scene, and that's been provided by our on the scene reporter, Patrick Lipsky. Now, I will say on my end, I've been very negative about Antonio Prieto and what he has done to what he has been involved with in the situation at Anorthosis. But I have to say, no one deserves this at all, right? The way things are dealt with are in a lawful and proper manner. This is not the way to deal with being disappointed or enraged about somebody's actions regarding your or another football team. So, and it's not new, it's not clever, and it's not big. It's something that happens a lot in Cyprus when fans are enraged with someone's behavior towards a football team in particular. It's happened to referees. It's happened to chairman. I've not seen it. I've not seen it happen. I think it's happened to a couple of journalists as well, reported negatively on clubs. But yeah, it shouldn't be part and parcel. But it's something that should be shocking, and a lot of people kind of gone like, yeah, we don't like it, but yeah. And that's a bad thing, I think. What do you think, Stel? I'm talking a lot. You say something.
No, mate. Look, this is Cyprus, okay? We had the issue with the Omonoia vice president having a blast outside his home a couple years ago. We've had referees' cars being blown up. I will be honest, and this is just me speculating. Again, conjecture, so don't take it as gospel. I think the guy is on a very big wage. I think the club are suffering as a result. I think people want him gone. He's not taking the hint. He's not backing down. And this is their way of trying to smoke him out, put it that way. And I think that's some lunatics have decided to do that. And again, it's bang out of order. You shouldn't be doing that because it's just a bloody game at the end of the day. But football's tribal. And there are people out there that see it as more than life itself. So I can see both sides, to be fair. Mr. Tandy, does that not petrify you?
Yeah, I mean, the first time I ever heard about it was quite frightening. I think it was like my first year in there in Cyprus. I think when they'd done an attack on the referee's car. I think after one of the games, it was like a bomb threat or something, or a bomb went off or something, and like I remember reading it in front of one of my teammates, and it was like, yeah, that happens, and I was like, what? Like, so it is a shock. It's still a shock when you hear about it, but it's it's frightening. I mean, especially being on his situation, they know where he lives, they know, his car and everything, and you're going to be living in fear, really, at that point.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the question of how did they find out where he actually lives? So that's a question there as well for the conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't listen. Cyprus is a small place.
It is.
It's a small place. He might have been, going to take the dog for a walk one day, and one unorthodox fan has spotted him, and then he's gone to the cafe and he's told his friends he saw Prieto down his road, and they're like, "Oh, where does he live?" It's like that.
Yeah,
it's like that. So I don't know. There's a question here from Angelo. Did the actual Lipski provide the videos? He did, bro. He was actually on X.
Yep. Yeah. I told you he's on the
correspondent, man.
Reporter. Yeah, the correspondent. Because he's also been providing us with some stats as well that we didn't know.
That's right.
Yeah, things like the Vasaki had 3 games 3 days in a row.
Love that guy, man.
Yeah. They had.
He's so fucking blatant as well.
Yeah. What was it? It was.
It was the Omonoia game. It was the Omonoia game when we were talking about various things that happened in the game at with the officials being crowded by people. And then he goes, "What about this?" And he showed the ball that crossed the line against him. Doesn't give a fuck.
He does not.
I love it.
He doesn't care. But Patrick Lipski is. He's our 3rd member, I think. We should get him on at some point.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
quick news about Anorthosi. They're linked with Banai, the goalkeeper, because Keravno is leaving the club. So Banai, former Omonoia goalkeeper, Cyprus international, played for the Oxa? No, Ethnico last season, wasn't it? Was it Ethnico last season?
He was at Ethnico on loan last season, and this season's at Paralimni.
Yeah. Oh, yes. What's he like? Because I see him and his missus on Instagram quite a bit, Sim.
Yeah. He's honestly, he's a top guy. He actually came in the team as probably the most experienced player, like as in his age-wise. I mean, we're a young squad. So it's definitely good to have him around. Like, especially when we had our group discussions, he definitely had his input, like from like a experienced head as well. And he gave some good wise words, and he was always part of the team. Like even though he didn't get to play as much, he was always with us. He was always positive, and I think that that's what you want in a player, especially if you're not playing. You need that in the atmosphere and in the environment. And I think he's definitely a top guy and a great goalkeeper as well.
There you go, international as well. International. Yeah. All right, okay. Now we're gonna go for it. Brace yourselves, because this is going to be a kind of shortish, long one. So let's fire away with the Group B party. And IL took the lead in the 5th minute through Girago against Karmiotissa, Sim's old team. And then 7 minutes later, Bonetto gave Ethnico the lead. And I'm thinking at the time, Sim's like, shit, what the fuck is going on? We're losing. But Ganadi equalized. The boss's son pulled it level in the 26th minute. How about this for a finish? Ball drops, half volley, bosh, top bins. But then Anderegen made it 2-1. And this is a guy that hasn't been scoring recently. I mean, he started the season really, really well. And yeah, I don't know who gave that ball away, Sim. I don't know, I need to have a word with him, mate. But that's a good finish. That's a good finish. Meanwhile, in Larnaca, Omonoia Aradippou took the lead through Jorginho. And I guess it was squeaky bum time. But a certain guest of ours grabbed the equalizer. I don't know what happened there with that shot, by the way.
It was a pass.
Yeah, it was a pass, yeah. A certain someone grabbed this equalizer. Look at that. Sim, come on. Talk to us. Talk to us, please. I beg. What's going on here?
Finish his instincts, isn't it?
Oh, that's a great header.
It's a great header. It's a great finish.
I mean, you got to be scoring from there. I'm just saying, if you'd have missed, I'd have cussed you, bro. It's a great header.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lie. So, bro, at this stage, yeah, talk to us. At this stage, right? You're 2-1 down. You've gone up. What is going on? Do people know the results at the time? Do you know what's going on in the other games?
To be fair, we didn't. We just had to assume that that in the way we knew that the Aradippou game and the Moni 29 game wasn't really like we knew like if we won and they won, we would still go down. But like it was also like at the time we've had a feeling Isle was ahead because of the fans' reaction. And then it was when we went 1-0 down, we just had faith as a team and we just, we brought one back. Then we went 2-1 down. And I think as soon as I scored, like I don't really even celebrate too much because I was just more in the fact that it's still not over. Like we still need to get another goal. Like, and it was just keeping. I couldn't really go around celebrating when it's 2-2. Do you know what I mean? As well. So we knew what we had to do. We got back into position, and we took it into half time. But I mean, we still had that that energy. Like we got to go on and win. We still got to go on and win. I think that's what we had from the start. And we had it in the last 7 games. Exactly that. I mean, we won 5 out of 7, which is incredible, to be fair. So we had that mentality, and we knew the job wasn't done yet. We had to keep going.
So what's the halftime team talk like from the coach at 2-2?
I think it was. What can I go back to now? To be fair, we all started off with discussing ourselves. We knew the situation we were in. We knew the way they were playing. We just had to carry on doing what we was doing in terms of like. The goals we gave away was just little mistakes, little errors and stuff like that. But we knew, if we didn't do any of that, if we, kept that at a minimum in the second half, we shouldn't concede any more. And, keep punishing them in deep because we had quite a few chances, when we was playing in deep. And, we made a few changes. I think the striker that came on was a young lad, actually, Cypriot lad, one of the academy boys. And he did really well when he came on, and he was punishing them in behind, and that was our way, and we made the most of it, and we ended up scoring a third from a set piece, but the fourth, that was from just sheer like desire, just we want to get more, but the halftime team talk was definitely like, look, we got to keep going, we got to stay on top of it, and we got to get another goal at the end of the day.
There's a question here from Pedro. Still, I want you to ask your guest about his coach. What shall I ask, Pedro? What is the question? What's the question? Ask about the coach. Okay, I'll tell you what, before Pedro types his answer, because he's going to be like Kermit the Frog, like frantically typing.
Okay.
When you first met this coach, what did you make of him? I mean, obviously he's got a lot of experience, but didn't know the Cypriot league.
Mm-hmm.
What were your first impressions?
To be fair, I didn't really know him too much. I just know that through my agent, he knew him, and you know, when I went over there and I got to meet him, you know, he was very welcoming. You know, he was like, "Look, I know about you. You know, I've seen your clips. I've seen a bit about you and stuff like that. I know you've got experience in the league." You know, he was just like, "Come here and, you know, do what you do." He goes, "And just show yourself." And at the end of the day, like, he was very nice, and I could see the way he approached the players as well was a lot different. You know, he had a good relationship with the players. The players, you know, straight away when I asked them about the coach, they had good words to say about him. You know, the way he was with the players, the way he interacted, the relationship, and you know, like, it was good. It wasn't like, you know, it's too much or it's too little. Like, it was a good relationship, and I think, you know, that's what you need in a coach. And you know, he showed it. And as soon as I seen that, I was like, you know, this is someone I want to work with. You know, and he believed in his players. He believed in his team. I think that was very important for, especially a young squad. You know, we're not an old squad, and then, you know, I've seen the players, and they need that sometimes. Some players need that, and he knew how to work with different types of players, and that was very important.
Nice one. Well, Pedro says, first of all, he seemed like a very likable guy, and I think he produced good football with Paralimni. How much did he influence the team? Because there were some hard times.
I mean, very likable guy. Like, you know, just, you can have a conversation with him as well. You know, away from football, you know, he's a great guy as well. You know, even someone, he's more than happy to go for coffee with you as well. Like, he will, you know, to discuss the football, discuss outside. You know, he wants to get to know a little bit about your personal life as well. Like, you know, know more about the player. He's very keen on, like, the psychological side, the mental side of the game, and you know, we have some you know, we had some players who needed that as well, and he was able to connect with them on that, and especially in the situation we were in. You know, when you say, like, he helped us through some tough times, and you know, he got us to believe, he got us in that right mindset. Even little things that he used to do, you know, like, as a coach, you know, even his video analysis sessions or team meetings, or, you know, videos in the group chat or something, you know, like, inspiring. You know, it's like, you know, allowing us, because the thing is, we was all young, we were all hungry, and we all wanted to learn, and we all wanted to do the best we can, and he was able to get that out of a lot of players. You know, a lot of players grew. If you look at how they started the season and how they ended up, you know, there was big growth in the team, and I think that was important, that he was able to get that out of the players.
Top stuff. Mm-hmm. All right, let's carry on. So you've made it 2-2. You don't want to celebrate. All right, cool. No problem.
I remember him saying to me, how many goals are you going to score this season?
You got four. Yeah. So Omonoia then get a penalty. Omonoia Aradippou get a penalty, which Ferrier pokes in. I guess, yeah, it's a bit of a naughty one there. But then Ethnico score. And I'm thinking at this time, because I was watching, I'm like, oh shit, what's happening? Because that was a disastrous goal to concede. But you guys got away with it, didn't you? The offside flag went up, and VAR did its job. I think Thasso was just really happy there because he has to worry about looking at the lines for that one. I mean, he's off.
He's definitely.
He's off. Yeah. But then you guys got the other end, and Musiliani, the guy that we call, he's from the barrio, he's from the hood. You know, he looks like a bit of a gangster, Mexican gangster cartel. Meanwhile, Bondigul made it 2-1 for Omonoia in Nadismayo, but then Solomu, I believe, came off the bench, scored this goal, and then it just descended into absolute let me start again, rapture, isn't it? You guys were going absolutely bonkers. I think you guys knew the game was effectively done there and then. Then a few moments later, Jorginho wrapped it up for Omonoia Aradippou to make it 3-1, and then Mr. Tandy, carnage. And we're talking about carnage in two games here, because Paralimni you guys conceded a penalty, which your goalkeeper, who's been absolutely fantastic this season, saved. But you made a really good challenge there and got all the credit. Your goalkeeper didn't get a pat on the back for that. What's going on?
I think they did pat him after. Look, they go to him after for sure.
Yeah, well, mate. Again, that was as important challenge as the penalty save, to be honest, because that's fallen right back to him. And what was your thinking there?
That feeling was better than the goal. I'm telling you, like that feeling was insane. Like, because I just threw my body on the ball, like in front of the path of the shot. I just thought if I touch him, I could get a red card. Like I had that instinct already. Like if I touch him and he misses or something, it's just red, and it's another penalty, and it's it could be game over. So in the moment, I was like, block the path of the ball. And I couldn't see, I didn't know I'd saved it until everyone jumped on me. And I was just like, wow, that was insane.
See, this is the thing, like when it comes to penalties, you've always got the encroachment rule, innit?
Yeah.
So if he's missed it and one of you have gone into the penalty box too early, it's got to be retaken, right? So you said it was instinctive.
Yeah.
But surely it wasn't 100% instinctive. There had to be some logic behind it, because obviously it's all about the timing as well. So were you looking at his run? Were you looking at the goalkeeper's movement? There must have been a trigger point for you to say, right, I'm going to dart in.
I think it's like as a defender or someone who's always been around the box when it's a penalty opposition, we've always been taught, chase the ball, follow the ball. If it goes in, it goes in. You just follow. You give that little burst of sprint. In that moment when the keeper saves it, you just keep sprinting, and I just threw my body on the line and just did whatever it took. I mean, even if he scored, but like at least I could have tried. And because the worst thing is if you jog and then you realize that you could have blocked it after, that's a worse feeling, I think, because then you realize that, well, I didn't give 100%. Maybe if I gave 100%, I could have stopped it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's brilliant. And see, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about various podcasts about that extra bit of determination and just that, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's the dark arts, but it's that never say die attitude. It's like, okay, the ball ain't in the back of the net yet, so just throw your whole body. It's that commitment, and I think that's lacking from a lot of players, not just defenders, but players in general. That commitment. Boy, like that was it. I didn't even realize it was you until I was watching the highlights earlier. I was like, oh, okay, it gives us something else to talk about. Anyway, so let's go to the Alpha Mega, because, as I said, carnage ensued. 84th minute, this happens. Penalty to Karmiotissa. Now, this goes to VAR, and everyone's arguing. Meanwhile, in Larnaca, Omonoia Aradippou get their own penalty. While these guys are arguing, the penalty occurs in Larnaca, which Omonoia Aradippou scored to make it 4-1. And then they decided, it's a penalty. I think it was a stonewall penalty, to be honest. The goalkeeper did bring down, I think, was it Yussi? I can't remember who he brought down, Karmiotissa. And Stojanovic actually stepped up. And I didn't watch this one live. I was actually watching your game. But he stepped up and he's put it wide. Now, what did you lot know about this at the time?
I didn't actually know. I didn't realize until after the game that they'd missed a penalty. But apparently the lads on the bench were saying, and a couple players, maybe the forwards, noticed it. But the stadium went quiet at one point. Like the stadium just went quiet. Like our fans were quiet for like a couple minutes. And I don't know. I don't know if I think they maybe celebrated after it happened as well, after he missed. And I didn't realize what was going on. Maybe I thought Ireland scored another goal or something, or maybe something else happened in another game. So I wasn't aware. But like some of the players did notice it, because they told us like after, like, did you not hear the stadium go quiet? And I was like, no, I didn't realize. But yeah, that's what happened. And when I found out after, I was like, what? Like, that's meant for us. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. Because I remember that game finished, I think it was 99 minutes. I think they had 9 or 10 minutes added time. So your game had finished. Now, what's going on there? Because I saw a few of your players holding their phones, probably either watching the game on Sida Vision or whatever it was.
Yeah.
What are you doing at that moment?
I remember that like we'd finished the game, like the whistle had gone, and I just dropped to the floor because I was absolutely dead. I was I thought their game would be over as well. I just assumed that we'd won and we'd staying up. But then my captain came over and he was like, "Yo, get up. We still got to wait for them lot." So I was like, "Okay." So then we all stood up. Everyone shook hands and stuff, and then they brought the iPad onto the pitch, and then some of the lads they put it on the stand. The lads were all gathered around, and I was thinking like, how long's left? And I think they said like 5-6 minutes, and I was like, oh my, this is going to be a long 5-6 minutes. And I remember just standing there on my own, and I was just thinking, like, I let them watch. I was just watching their reactions. Like, I was next to them, like in front of them. I could see them, and I was just staring at them, and I was just like, I ended up sitting there praying. I was just like, please let this be. I was just thinking, like, all this hard work we put in, all it takes is one goal, something, and it's we go down. And it was that moment of thinking, this could happen at any point within the next few minutes. And I was just watching them. And I think they were celebrating when, for example, Isle got a goal kick or something, or something didn't go the way for Karmiotissa. And then I think once one of the fans started celebrating, then we started celebrating as soon as it finished, and we all just sprinted to the fans. It was just ecstatic. We was honestly so happy, and everyone was just, all that rush of energy, everything. I mean, there was a bit in my throat during that few minutes, like a bit of emotion. It was like, come on, this could be it. This could be it. So close. There was like 1 minute left, 30 seconds left, and then when the whistle went, it just everything went. All the doubt, everything just went.
And you didn't sleep, did you?
Nah, I had too much adrenaline, I'll tell you.
He didn't sleep. Like, the adrenaline kept him awake for about 8 hours. I messaged him in the morning. He's like, I've got to bed yet. I'm like, what? It's 9 o'clock in England. What the fuck's wrong with you?
I know. I only had a few hours sleep after that, to be fair. It was a long day. It was a long day.
Man, incredible. Absolutely incredible. And you see the scenes from the Karmiotissa bench when that penalty was missed. And that says it all, really. You got to feel for them, to be honest. Like, it's cruel. It really is cruel. Because, to be fair on them, they did have a decent fight, But the fact is, it's all about getting the points on the board. And Thasso, before we move on to your mate, do you want to share your thoughts on that actual last day for Group B?
So there's a couple of things you missed off there, which increased the tension a little bit more as well. So the AL Karmiotissa game had a load of minutes after all the other games were done, because the second half was delayed by 10 minutes because there was a problem with one of the nets. So there was like groundsmen for about 10 minutes just messing around with the net where the away end is at the Alfamera, and they were just poking the nets back into the ground for some reason. It took them 10 minutes. And so that was the first thing. And then in Paralimni as well, there was a 6-minute delay because one of the floodlights went off. One of the floodlights just went halfway through the second half. I think it was before you guys took the lead again, wasn't it?
I think it was just after the fourth goal.
Was it? Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, as soon as I posted something about the Karmiotissa game being delayed by 10 minutes, I had a couple of people post afterwards. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's been delayed for a reason, has it? Yeah. Like people being like, oh, they fixed it for Karmiotissa to stay up again. And then, posted afterwards that the floodlights gone off at Paralimni. And everybody went quiet there for a little bit. But yeah, drama, so much drama. I was like watching the whole thing, so I can't imagine what you were feeling on the pitch. Me watching the bloody thing, and I was just frantically like. It was something incredible. We haven't had a day like that for a long time. In Group B.
Well, Thasso, your mate, someone found him and they caught a video of him in the stands before the penalty was taken, the Karmiotissa one.
My mate?
Yeah, your mate. Yeah, look, hang about. No, that's not it. Stell. Shit,
what are you doing?
Wrong one. Here we go. There's your mate.
Oh, yeah, on his own.
The president of Karmiotissa, just before the penalty was taken. And part of me feels sorry for him because he's a fan of the club as well, man. I think that's the head. Is that the head coach there? Was that the head coach?
No, the head coach. No, can't be the head coach.
I don't know. Yeah, so here we go. He's about to step up for the penalty, and you'll see. You just know at that moment when the ball's gone wide, he just like slumps in his seat. So yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Shall we talk about your guy?
Well, but before we do, I want to give him the last word on the Group B party. First, let's talk about what happened with the AL, because they had some very important news this week. They had their General Assembly, didn't they?
Yes.
Where they announced a load of stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, I picked up specifically on Ivan Tryskovsky. So they basically announced his retirement for him and then said that he's going to be moving upstairs. And the role was general manager of the footballing department of the club. I think that's his official role, but that sounds like basically director of football, right? He's in charge.
And it was a long announcement as well.
Yeah,
it was a really long announcement.
Yeah, they showered him with all the praise that they should. Obviously, Tryskovsky's had a very long, very varied career. He's been at AEK, Apoel, he's been AL, he's been a lot of places. He scored a lot of important goals for a lot of teams, and so congratulations on the retirement. And let's see what he does at AL. I don't want to jinx him already, but AL's directors of footballers don't really last very long. So yeah, I mean, we interviewed one of the previous ones. So, and but there's a new turning point for IL at the moment. They've also announced that the limited company's been taken out of the ownership of the club again, and it's been handed over to. Stel, you're gonna have to help me with this bit.
What,
Panayodu, that's it. Yeah, so it's a guy who has shares in Sigma as well, right? He's involved in media quite a bit.
Yeah, the TV and the media company, but I think he's from the UK originally. So yeah. He's one of us.
Yeah. But yeah, so a turning point for IL, I think. They need something positive after the 2 or 3 seasons that they've had.
Yep.
The fans need something positive, and hopefully this is the turning point for them.
And have you heard the latest name linked with a head coach job?
IL?
Yeah.
No. Go on.
Paolo Tramezzani, once of Apoel. Yeah.
Oh God.
He's
Okay.
one of the latest names linked. Also, your gaffer as well. He's linked as well. Just saying. Yeah. So Tramezzani, Camoranesi, Canadi. They're the 3 that we've heard of.
And in January, they were talking about them going for Hugo Martins as well. So
yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Tasso, are we going to go over to your guy now?
Let's give him the last word, shall we?
Let's give him the last word. Oh my goodness, I can't wait for this one.
Karmiotissa president, batshit insanity to go. He went on Super Sport FM again. It's the Stavros Dymosthenous show.
Just hitting those kids over the head. I can't get over it.
It's in his office. It looks like he's got AI generated images, like
he's got a green screen.
From remember DALL-E from like 3-4 years ago, where all the faces were like deformed and stuff. Anyway. So last word from Stavros Dymosthenous is going to open up, I think, a whole barrel of issues, but here we go. This is not a matter of luck. Today is a sacred day, Mother's Day. Long live all the mothers in the world.
Those are post-match comments, by the way.
These comments. Yeah, exactly. as for football, it's certainly not ideal to drop to the second division. But tomorrow, things will get even worse. You don't go to the second division on your own. You're sent there. Those who dared to challenge the kingdom of Koumas are the ones being relegated. Fañeros, Caravidas, and Dornaridis. I will not accept this. There were several matches that made it clear they did not want Karmiotissa in the first division. They were bothered by the fact that I said I might be interested in the presidency of the Cyprus FA. We've gone down to the second division, but we still have our health, which is the most important thing in life. Let them be sure I will fight with all the strength I have against the kingdom of Koumas. I've said before that continuing as president wasn't my top priority because I have other ambitions, but I won't let this go, always in a legal and proper manner. The team has been under attack for the past 5-6 weeks. I spoke to 3-4 other presidents to discuss the issue with the Cyprus FA. After the comments I made, they were offended and we had to go down to the second division. There you go. So it's a fix. Every year, the team that gets relegated at the end, it's always a fix. It's always a fix. I like the people he mentioned as well. Fañero. I'm not going to say anything about Fañero because I don't want to end up like Prieto.
No, worse.
Caravida and Dornaridis. Now, those three people do not have, let's be nice and say they don't have the cleanest of histories. Right? Yes. So,
well, Sim knows Caravida.
Well, yeah, he signed for his team, didn't he? But yeah, so man, he put himself with those three, so it makes you think, doesn't it?
Sim, when you're at Karmiotissa, did you get any inkling that the CFA wanted them to get relegated?
No, we did well when I was there, actually.
Yeah, but that was still when Punin was investing in the team, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was there.
That shall not be mentioned.
Yeah, but yes, for me, it doesn't help if you sell 3 of your starting 11 in January because they got rid of Simic in defense. He went to Omonoia. Pozo went to Poland. And Dumbia left. He went to Israel. Those 3 players.
And the striker, Gatsandoni?
Gatsandoni was in the summer. But
he's still one of the top players.
Yeah, but they were doing well up until January, and then they had this transfer window where they got rid of these 3 players. And Dumbia got, I think he was getting very close to 100 appearances for Karmiotissa as well. So very important player for him. Off he goes. And yeah, Pozo, off he goes. Simic, off he goes. Now, obviously, that brings in a bit of cash into the team that helps keep things ticking. But what that did is it took out the spine of the team, especially creatively. And one of the big problems that Karmiotissa had was scoring goals after that. Like even Usis, who scored plenty of goals for him beforehand, there wasn't anything there for him. Of course, the other thing is as well is when we first started doing the Stavros Dymosthenous show, this is the finale, by the way, obviously, because he's been relegated now. But when we started it, the first episode we did was when he said, I would like to have 11 Cypriot players starting my matches. But the thing is, Cypriot players are lazy and they don't train. So,
sons.
Well, there's the other thing as well. Mauro Camoranesi left the club because he refused to play his sons in the cup match against Ayanaba. So, maybe your club got relegated because of your decisions.
Watch this space.
Maybe.
This space.
Of course, there's also the additional thing is that we went through all of this and Paralimni, the people of Paralimni made a proposal to the Cyprus FA for only one team to be relegated this season. and for 3 to be promoted into the Cyprus League. So if that's put up for discussion, all this that we've done, all this drama that we've had this weekend is for absolutely nothing.
Sim, before we move on, mate, what are your thoughts on a club president saying that his team went down because the CFA wanted them to go down? Does that not piss on your parade somewhat and kind of undermine your team's work and efforts?
I mean, to be honest with you, we was, like, if you look to the table, you would have thought that Paralimni would go down. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't really, especially before the playoffs, you wouldn't even include Karmiotissa in the conversation. You just felt like it was Omonoia Aradippou and Paralimni fighting to stay up. We kind of had an idea. I'm not saying anything bad about Salamina or anything, but they were a few points behind us, and we believed that we'd be able to catch up to the ones ahead. But we played against Karmiotissa, and we beat them 2-0, fair and square. I don't think there was any way. And like, for example, if they had won that game, they wouldn't be in this. They wouldn't be going down. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's also one of them, and I think that game was fair. And our goal was to beat them. If we beat them, we knew we had a chance of staying up. If they beat us, then they had every right to stay up. So it's okay, it's tough to hear, but we stayed up in the end. We're not complaining. We'll take it.
So take that.
Take that.
Take that. Well, I'm not going to say like Diddy did, but anyway. So let's just recap the Group B table then. Thasso?
Oh, sorry, I muted myself there. Right,
Boo.
yes. So we had some Anorthosis fans commenting last week that they want some kind of bowl or something for winning Group B, and there they are at the top with 52 points. And then we've got Ireland second with 39 points. Achna in third with 39 points. Omonoia Aradippou in fourth with 35 points. Paralimni in fifth with 35 points. And then in the relegation places, we've got Karmiotissa in sixth with 34 points. Nea Salamina with 26. And 2 Omonoia, 2 Furious with 14 points. Bye-bye, those 3. See you later.
So I guess we can safely say that those 3 clubs. Exo, you're out. Gone. Out. All right. So let's move on to the less dramatical side of things. And Omonoia and Ari face each other, and it ended 3-3. Omonoia racing into a 3-0 lead thanks to 2 goals from Stefan Jovetic and 1 from Willy Semedo. But in true Omonoia fashion, the bottle job, the Omimia curse strikes again. Ari scored 3 goals, 1 from Sarfor, 1 from Gogorin, and the final one from, I think, Koumas. And Ari earned a draw, and they could have actually won it near the end. Gentlemen, I don't really know what to say about this one. I didn't watch it, to be fair. I flat out refused to watch it. So I don't know, Thasso, do you want to say something, and Sim can say something about this pile of shit?
Well, yeah, I mean, we should have a look at the Koumas goal right at the end. He scores another cracking goal. He seems to only score crackers, but yeah, I don't know, man. It seemed like Omonoia were playing for 30 minutes and then just turned everything off. Yeah, absolute defense was a bit of a shambles. There you go. Look at that. Well, what a great goal that is. But yeah, listen, the way it started as well. We've talked about him previously. Steve Yargo was having a bit of a nightmare in that first 30 minutes. I think the first 2 goals that Omonoia scored, you can directly kind of look at a mistake that he'd made, dallying on the ball, not picking up his man. But yeah, after going 3-0 down, you'd think Omonoia would have taken control, but in fact, it was Aris who then turned it around. And, like you said, they could have won it. They could have won it at the end as well. Morgan Brown started. First start of the season for him. And I think he played pretty well. He played pretty well.
Apart from that, listen, Morgan, if you're watching, bro, we had this conversation the other day, but overhead kicks, they're not for you. Yeah.
Did he try one?
Listen. If he's watching, he's gonna kill me. That's why I got my phone here just in case. Yeah. But he tried it and he got halfway up in the air and he was just like, fuck this shit. And that was it. So
Yep.
I'll have to have a word with him about that.
but listen, I can't do it, so I can't laugh. But I ain't a pro footballer, so you ain't gonna see me trying that. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Sim, what do you make of Adi this season? Because we thought that they were gonna be hot on Buffalo's heels for the majority of the season, and they were, to be fair. But where do you think it went wrong for them? I mean, you've played against them. Did you notice anything different between them this season and last?
I feel like when we played against them, they was a bit more clinical at times. Like when I played against them before, when we played against this year, I mean, we actually had a chance, to be fair. I think we went 2-1 down, but we had a chance of getting a second. We, for example, you see there in that game the quality of finishing from Aris, like, and the skill and the, you see that, and they usually in the top 3-4 teams, it's fine details. You know what I mean? Like that can win you games. I mean, especially being 3-0 down and to be able to produce something to come back to 3-3 shows they've got something. But yeah, I thought, to be fair, I think when I was watching the league from before I joined Paralimni, I thought it was going to be them and the Paphos very close. But then I think I don't know how soon or when it happened, but just a gap kind of bridged apart in the end. And I think Paphos were very consistent. I think that's been the difference this year. In previous years, Paphos have always like slipped points sometimes against, like, I don't know, lower teams. For example, I remember last year in Doxa, even we beat Paphos, and that was something with Paphos. Sometimes like they'd lose some points here and there that would cost them in the end. But this year they was very consistent and they were able to win against the big teams and the small teams. That gets them the title at the end.
Yeah, well, I don't know how long these players knew that Shpilevsky was going to leave. I mean, it was announced pretty much out of the blue, wasn't it, Thasso? But it just appeared to me that something wasn't right in terms of the chemistry within the squad. It just didn't seem the same as obviously the year they won the league. Clearly, you're not going to get that same thing, but I don't know whether it was just the pressure or whether it was the level of expectation or other things going around. I don't know. I mean, the way they treated Morgan was absolutely disgusting. And I'll be the first one to say that I was livid to see him being told that he could find another club at the beginning of the season after everything that he'd done for him, and him being a very important player, especially in the middle of the park where they were clearly lacking. So it didn't make any sense to me. And then you're hearing other things here and there. I'm not going to go into it, but listen, the table doesn't lie. And they finished second, which, again, they deserve it to be second, to be fair. But you can't help but wonder, things could have been so different had they have got more things right than wrong. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that there was definitely... well, the other thing is, as well, is as what happens with every season, other clubs start to try and figure out how to beat the championship winning teams, especially if the head coach stays. So, and what we've seen as well from Shpilevsky is he doesn't change his tactics for no one. He's a little bit like Bielsa that way. Like, no, this is the way I'll play. You figure it out. If you figure it out, good on you. But this is how I'm going to play. Sometimes it works. But every year the skill level of the league grows, so you need to figure out something new each time. And that, I guess he didn't have it in him this time around.
There we go. Just something very quickly, Thasso. Stepinski is linked with a move away from Omonia, right?
Yep. So you're going to make me pronounce the team name. That's why you've batted it to me, haven't you? Yeah. So yes. There's a friend of mine over on Twitter at Polski Transfers has tagged me. He tags me in whenever there's a Polish player joining or leaving Cyprus. And yeah, the rumor is that Widzew Lodz in Poland are looking to pay 300,000 euros along with bonuses to sign him. Apparently, the agreement's already been made with the player. It's just discussions with Omonia that have still got to take place. So that's the first thing. That's the pretty concrete transfer rumor coming out of Poland. We've also got head coach rumor as well for Aris, which seems to have taken. They're running away with it now. So this is a coach called Artem Radkov. So in essence, it looks like Aris are sticking with Belarusian head coaches. And yeah, the announcement of Artem Radkov is imminent. A lot of places are reporting that basically Aris are going to have the last game, and then the day after they're going to announce him as the new head coach. He played for Bate and Torpedo in Belarus, Khimki and Grozny in Russia, and Genklebirli in Turkey. And then he retired, and since then he's been an assistant manager at a few clubs. One called Energetic Minsk. I think that's a fantastic name for a team. The Belarus under-21s and Bate. He was also a head coach at a team called Izlok of Minsk for a season, and he's also been assistant manager at Dynamo Makhachkala in Russia. So yeah, he's got a bit of experience, but most of his experience is as an assistant manager.
So we're gonna go all Conor McGregor now, aren't we? Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that guy?
He doesn't instill the kind of the big name signing that Aris were probably looking at before. I mean, we heard a couple of names and we were like, oh yeah, that'd be a good one. And there was also another name that we saw as well. Something. What was the guy's name? I can't remember. But there was another Belarusian coach. I think the owners are basically looking for somebody that they know that they could trust.
Literally.
They prefer somebody. They prefer somebody from their place, I guess.
Yeah. Oh,
whatever.
Anyway, let's move on, and we're going to talk about Sim's first club in Cyprus, AEK, who beat Apollon by 3-0. Aglieski, another Polish striker who hasn't been suspended for talking to the Polish press. He scored a hat-trick, one from the spot, and this penalty was actually given for a foul prior to the original. Prior to the second
That's not
challenge.
A penalty, man. That's not.
Listen, this is Cyprus.
He gets the ball. That's not a penalty.
Whatever.
Then
it's a follow through. It's a follow through.
Yeah, it could be the follow through.
There you go. See, follow through. Told you. There you go. So 3-0 light work for AEK, and as a result, they are guaranteed third place, no matter what. Omonia can't catch them. Oh well. Sim, another European campaign for your former club, and they're in the cup final.
Yeah. Cup final. That's a good thing. I think it's been a while. I think since they reached the final. To be fair, I think probably like 6-7 years. I think since they won it. I think.
Yeah, 2018. I think.
So, it's a good achievement for them, especially. Third place as well. You see who's above them as well. It's tough contenders as well. So, They're always consistent when they're in the top four, and I think that's I don't know if that's their goals from the start of the season, but it's consistent. Third in position, final of the cup. So it's a decent achievement, I think.
Yeah, I mean their season started absolutely terribly. They had Ferrando as head coach. He lasted the 2 Conference League games where they got knocked out by Paxi, the Hungarian team, and yeah, they basically had to rip up how they started the season, and they signed more different players. They signed, and then they brought in Henning Berg, and following a couple of hiccups, he seems to have done all right with them, hasn't he? And they beat Apollon again 3-0 against Apollon without Cabrera, Chaco, Ledes, Ekpolo, Niali, Athanasiadis. None of these players were starting, and Gadellaris came on as well for him.
Oh wow, he played.
You remember him?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought we ended up in the Bermuda Triangle or something. Flipping
Yeah. He played.
Last time I saw him, he was in his underwear celebrating with Ezra Cole the title. Flipping hell with a scarf around his head.
Yep. But he played a few minutes. He didn't start the game. He played a few minutes.
Flipping hell, he'll be in the national team soon. Crikey.
Yeah. So
Goodness. My goodness.
There you go.
Oh well. Okay. Well, last but not least, Sim, you're gonna have to, I don't know, get a sleeping bag or have something that's going to keep you awake like Red Bull, because this is where Thasso absolutely loses it.
I can't.
This is where he loses it. Let's talk about.
I'm going to be positive about the game.
All right, let's do this then. So Upwell faced Buffalo, the champions, and they went a goal up through Max Meyer. Lovely strike, another worldie from Meyer. But Buffalo equalised through Jaja, even though the app, the Cyprus FA app, said it was Bruno. But they don't look the same. I don't know what's going on there. But Upwell had the chance to win it with a penalty. But Marquinhos stepped up and does this annoying run-up, or what you want to call it. But the goalkeeper saved it. The former Upwell goalkeeper saved it. And it ended a draw. That's all. Yep. Go on. Yep. Positive about the game.
Positive game because, building for next season. We'll talk about what the hell's going on next season in a minute. But Gabriel Pereira played his first game for Upwell as well and pulled off some fantastic saves. Really, really good game from him. We went 1-0 up. Straight away, Carcedo makes 3 changes. Brings on Tankovic, Bruno, and Jaja. Jaja scores straight away. So within 3 minutes of a score in the goal. But the game itself, despite the fact that we played a few younger players, a couple of 17, 18-year-olds came off the bench as well towards the end. Nothing but positives. Obviously, it would have been nice to have the win and get Marquinhos to score the penalty, but it's been that kind of a season. The small things, and one of the small things obviously has been Marquinhos hasn't been fit all season, and I guess you could put that penalty miss down to being rusty or whatever, but. Positive. It was a good performance against the champions, especially since I would have expected Buffalo to play, rest some players, but they didn't really rest any players. They actually went out there full hog. I mean, Tankovic came off the bench, but apart from that, it was a pretty solid first 11. So
Since when have Buffalo put out a first 11? You said, this is not a good first 11. Since when?
It's been a while.
Exactly.
It's been a while, but if they'd gone up front with Gleb's Patika, for instance, I would have been like, they're throwing this away.
The kid's been banging in goals for the under-19s anyway. Like, so,
I mean, even we would have been like, they're throwing this away, and then he would have bagged a hat-trick.
There you go.
There you go. So I'll leave it there for now.
Because
unless somebody else wants to provide some opinions.
No, I've got nothing on that game. You got anything, Sim? You want to add?
No.
Okay, because this is where the main event happens. This is, it's going to completely overshadow everything Paralimni have done, because this is where Thasso absolutely loses it, because
This
it
is where you
involves.
get your fucking clips for Instagram,
Right.
yeah?
There you go. So thank you, Fonbet, for sponsoring us.
Yeah.
You got the QR code there, right? You get a 30 euro welcome bonus, by the way, just saying. But this is going to be gold, because it involves the Upworld president, Brodros Petrides, also known as Manidara, aka the Mushroom Man, because he used to own a mushroom farm. And he went on cable nets to give a very open interview about the season, about the past, and about the finances. Oh boy, Thasso, take it away, young man. I'm gonna mute myself and just put my feet up, get myself a coffee.
So
Beautiful.
I'm not gonna. Oh my God, what an image! That is a fantastic image that you found there. That's a beautiful freeze frame. But yeah, that basically tells me exactly. That tells everybody exactly what went on during this interview. So, yes. I'm going to read off a couple of his quotes, and then I'm going to lose my shit about every single one. So, one of my biggest mistakes was changing Gallejo and taking Mr. Dominguez, thinking that he could cope because he knew the team with Mr. Pinto. This pressure worked negatively on Mr. Dominguez and was the main mistake in that period. No. Your main mistake was he did his press conference before the international break and said he needed to sit down with his players during the international break and work on their fitness, because they were playing a game every 3 days. And when they're like 34, 35, 36-year-olds you keep fucking buying, they need to work on their fitness. So what do? You fire him halfway through that. And then, no, not even halfway through that. You fire him at the beginning of that. And then you wait till 2 days before the international break is finished to bring in your next head coach, Manolo Jimenez. And about Manolo Jimenez, he kept repeating it again and again and again. Manolo Jimenez is the best coach, name-wise, that was brought to Cyprus. This is... Anyway, so that's the first thing. You remember, Stel, we laughed about how when they did like the announcement video of Manolo Jimenez walking onto the training ground, and he's just doing steps along the. He's just walking along the byline, counting how many steps he gets to the center of the byline. And why?
I'm telling you, he was counting his steps for the day. He had a 10,000 step limit, and he just decided to walk up the touchline.
I can't. I mean, when they did the introductory press conference for him, right? They had questions from the journalists. Questions from the journalists in Greek was translated into English by Bedevino, the press spokesman there, to a translator who was giving them the questions in Spanish. Then Jimenez would answer in Spanish, the translator would say them in English, and then Bedevino would then say it in Greek back to the reporters. The whole thing was a shambles from the beginning, right? And I had a lot of shit when I said, what's he going to do? He's going to be gone by the international break again. I picked the wrong international break. I said November. I thought it was only going to last a month. He lasted until the March international break when they got rid of him. And Petrides as well said in the interview that, maybe I should have got rid of him earlier. But, it's Jimenez. You give him a chance because he's Jimenez. Anyway, he mentioned, 2, Friday's players' refusal to train does not find us in agreement, because I have reached an agreement with Vice President Haris Fodiou, who has scheduled a meeting with all the players in Euros Efrem to settle the balance they are owed. The discussion with the players began yesterday. That would have been Friday or Saturday, based off of Saturday, based off of the day of the interview. We made it clear to them that they will not receive a salary during this period. January and February have been paid. March and April are still to be paid. I believe they wanted to put pressure on them to get a salary before they went on vacation, and I told them they would receive a salary starting next week. with everything we paid in the last 2 months, it is around 3 to 3.5 million. I mean, that's completely fine then, isn't it? Yeah? You've got all these players on contract, and you're 2 months in arrears on that salary, and the players don't know if they're actually going to be paid before they leave in May. And there's some players whose contracts are up in May. But that's fine, I guess. That's fine, because he kind of brushed it off and said, you know, oh, we paid them for January and February. They should be fine. Anyway, that's two. Anytime you want to jump in, Sim, to give me a bit of a break, you can jump in if you want. The club made €8.5 million from the Conference League. So that's great. Beautiful business. He was questioned about the €41 million debt the club reported in the last financial statement. So €15 million is owed in taxes. So, and then he said, it kind of said it in a way that, so that doesn't count. €4 million is owed to people on the board. So that doesn't count. €2 million is owed to a credit institution that they've been reported this €2 million for the last 3 or 4 years. So that doesn't count either. And then, so I'm going to say this bit exactly as he said it, but translated, right? Some of the debt is to some others who we collaborate with. That's how he said it. The pause is his. That's how he said it. He almost said the quiet part out loud. Almost, not quite. The transfer embargo on the club is due to €100,000 owed to Lucas Souza, who played for Abuel in the 21-22 season.
4 years ago. Flipping out.
And then he basically admitted, he basically confirmed that the financial and betting strategy, well, the playing strategy and everything else financially is basically they were betting everything on red and it kept coming black. Since 2019, when we were unlucky with COVID, we tried to make a team to qualify for Europe. We were unlucky for 3-4 years not to qualify for Europe. Abuel cannot not go to Europe. We invested so that through Europe,
fifth, so you're not in Europe.
yeah, we invested so that through Europe we could reduce the debt, but we did not succeed. Yes, we could have made a more conservative budget with the risk of not qualifying. This is the guy who signed 38-year-old Youssef Al Arabi. Yeah, and Pizzi. Oh, Pizzi is my favorite. That guy. Anyway, number 7. Abuel is not Prodromos Petrides. I don't think I have divided the world. But he's right with that. He's unified the world in the hatred for him now, so that's good. The Abuel world is 130,000 in Cyprus. Now, if there are 2,000 or 3,000 dissatisfied people, that is their right. If I felt that I was dividing, I would leave immediately. Now, someone on our Discord server kind of just whisper. But apparently, some organized fans from various areas of the island, so from all the cities, went and found him, met him, and confronted him, and told him that in no certain terms he needed to resign immediately, as they know he's lying about everything happening in the background of the club. Even though he said right at the top of the interview, you know me, I tell the truth. And finally, the bit that, you know, I had a few people coming after me on Twitter about talking about this investment group that's interested in buying Abuel, right? Apex Capital Global. I got roasted for that a little bit, right? So he said that this investment company have offices in Spain and the US. You know who else has offices in Spain and US?
I don't know.
Apex Capital Global.
No.
Yeah, the investment company I've been posting their history of on Twitter also have offices in Spain and the US. Failed takeover bids, crashing Bay out of existence. the one guy who's been kicked off the board as of a month ago owed £100,000 because he got charged in Scotland for you said I should say SA. Yeah, there we go. And
not Diddy levels, but
no, it was just one person. But still, one person is more than it should be.
Yeah.
And after 4 years, he still didn't have the funds to pay them off. So this is the group that Petrides is talking about investing in Aboel. So that's it's the is a spicy meatball. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I hate it. I hate him so much. Oh God. Yeah, he talked about. He said that they tried to organize 2 protests with him against him, and only 2,000 or 3,000 people showed up each time. And I'm thinking only 2,000 or 3,000 people. That's But anyway, of course, he mentioned the football stadium, and that's been delayed for issues. He's talked about what kind of budgets we're going to be working with next year. That they're going to concentrate on Cypriot talent that the club already has, and
Rhetoric.
Yeah, and then he tried to blame the signing of Pizzi on Dominguez. And then again,
didn't he say that Dominguez was the biggest mistake he made?
Yeah. And then that's not it either. There was so much stuff he said that pissed me off. He was there for about an hour and a half. It was like I basically watched another 90-minute game of Aboel playing absolute shite this season. Just listening to him talk. He said that he reiterated that it's not Brother Ramos Petrides who signs the players, it's the coaches. And then he went, except for Youssef El Arabi, Max Meyer. Who else did he say that he signed without asking the coach? But yeah, it was El Arabi, Meyer, Sodirio, and Laifis. So,
the big names.
What would be the 4 most expensive players on the roster? It reminds me of that meme of like there's who's at fault at what's happening, and then there's a guy who's looking in the mirror and he's just going like, except it's Petrides' face. I can't, man. I can't. I just want him. I just want him gone. I want him gone. Can I have him gone?
Sim, that's 7 minutes of Petrides. You didn't know about that, did you? Honestly, it's so surprising hearing all of this. It's just something that you would never know.
It's and I mean the people that were interviewing him tried to push him on some stuff, but you could see as well that after they'd push him on something, they'd put their hand to their ear. Somebody probably
producer,
saying,
we've got a contract with Aboel. We've got a contract with them. Yeah. We're renewing it. Don't.
Yeah,
Stop.
Exactly. Stop pressing, because they pressed a lot on the finances and the mistakes that he made in particular. But yeah.
Yep. Oh, well,
I mean, I would have asked about Alessandro. I would have been like, so what's his role?
Another can of worms.
Yeah, but
or a can of lizards. Anyway, speaking of lizards, Thasso.
Yeah.
We have another lizard, or more like a turtle head.
Mr. Turtlehead. George
Now-
Koumas.
Sim, do you know who this guy is? Do you know who this guy is? Do you know him?
Yeah. Is he not the president of the CFA? Or...
Yep.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Now, take a swig of that bottle, my friend, because what you're about to hear is golden.
Okay.
How
Yeah,
is
no,
yours
I think
again,
you
Faisal?
posted something on LinkedIn, and I tried to read it, translate it. I couldn't quite understand all of it, but
So,
It's in English. It's in English.
oh,
So
sorry, my
yes.
bad.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
You're going to hear it firsthand now.
So, reporter Fanis Margaridis from is it Philadelphia, right? Philly News.
yeah.
Yeah. So he's been reporting on George Koumas for God knows how long. Was it 9 years now? George Koumas has actually gone through the process of trying to get him censured to stop him from reporting on what Mr. George Koumas is getting up to, all the weird stuff. So it turns out that Mr. George Koumas is about to be indicted for a lot of cheeky things that he's been doing. So we've got I've listed the things we've got. So he created a shell company for selling the rights to broadcast Cyprus League matches to the national operator C Division. He's been withholding the TV money generated from said deal and releasing it to clubs as he sees fit and is beneficial to himself. With his shell company, he was purchasing TV rights for other leagues and then selling them to C Division at inflated prices. He's got conflicts of interest, obviously, on all this stuff, which legal jargon in Cyprus is listed as incompatibility. The last one that came up as well when I read this, and I was like, oh, that's a new one. Not heard that one before. Is a team with the amount and time of the released TV money was able to circumvent issues relating to UEFA criteria. Right, so that basically he's been handing TV money to clubs earlier than they should be receiving it to pass UEFA criteria. Now, 2 years ago, I remember 2 years ago, so we're going to connect everything together again. 2 years ago at the IL general meeting, when they took the limited company and brought it back into the club, the president of the club said out loud that Sophocleos, who was the president of the IL company before he left, agreed with Yorgos Koumas to release 3 seasons worth of TV money to IL that season for them to be able to budget better for bringing in your players like Kevin Miralas, Arad Chibola, Kaniklik, Muriel, all these players that ended up being not great. 3 years worth of TV money, just there you go. Use it now. You can get past UEFA criteria. But that's me grabbing this thread, and knitting a jumper.
Oh, you're clutching now. You're clutching, Faisal.
Right? People are saying these things out loud and nobody's doing anything about it. Again,
No, do you know what it is? They're not being pulled up on it. This is the thing. They say these things, then they think once they say it, it disappears. It dissolves. Their words dissolve, never to be heard again or referred back to again. They just evaporate.
And obviously, we're still waiting for George Koumas and his lawyers to come out with a statement where it's mostly going to be like,
That's all. By the way, we still haven't heard about that 6,000-page document.
No, this was The way it was described in the Filelefthero report, I think was like a 10-box file. So like the big, like the big. In the movies when somebody gets sacked
facility.
and they're all just carry all their possessions in that box. 10 of those.
They go to the big yellow and they got a combination code for the door and they open it. It's nothing but box files with paperwork.
Yeah. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it couldn't get to a shredder quick enough, I guess.
No. Unlike someone else that is helping your club, allegedly.
Anyway, yeah, so that's what I've got on that. I don't know if anybody wants to chuck in some comments.
Well, I'm not going to stick it on our guest, man, because he's a pro footballer. And
No,
I don't want to fuck up his chances.
Don't say anything, Sim. You can say after. Yeah. So we got the angry stuff out of the way. We've also got a couple of things. One thing in particular is that apparently Hector Gibberano has left Peterborough.
Yes.
And he has instead joined Watford. So he's gone up a league. He's now in the Championship. He's going
what
up
are
league
the
now.
odds that he ends up at Buffer, Thassa? What are the odds that he ends up at Buffer?
Well, the thing is, right, he's not on his own as a Charlie in Watford, though, is he? Because there's Ostelli, there's Gabriel, there's also Georgiou, who's captain of the under-18s, and there's a couple of other kids as well in the younger age groups. So,
no, but what I'm saying is, when you connect the dots, what are the chances that he ends up at Buffer?
They're good enough, aren't they? They're good enough chances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as if Buffer and Watford have been working together. It's not as if the Buffer sporting director used to work at Watford.
Ken Sema? Did you say Ken Sema?
Yes.
Oh,
and
Ken Sema.
Batika went to Watford and then went back to Buffer.
Batika.
The striker.
Glebs
Batika. Not the watermelon.
Yeah, Glebs Patika, yeah. Batika. Sick. Yeah. Anyway, yes. Also, Ioannis Bitas, he scores goals wherever he goes. Bagged another one. He bagged another one for CSKA in a 5-0 win.
And who scored their first goal for their new club tonight?
And that's what I was going to get to as well. Gagulis scored his first goal for AIK tonight. I think it ended up being a 3-3 draw, didn't it?
Yeah.
So he's broken the seal now, so he's going to start bagging them like what he does for Omonia. What he did for Omonia, he goes through his purple patch where he scored 5 and 6 goals, and then have one poor game, and then get put on the bench for 12. But yeah,
there you go.
Yep.
There you
so
go.
Yes, fantastic. Good news all around for Cypriot players.
There you go.
And there's one more thing.
One more thing. You sure? Because I've got one thing very quickly.
Oh yes, yeah.
Something we haven't done in a while, and I'm sure Sim will appreciate this. PASP corner. We'll ask Sim about PASP. I'm sure he knows about PASP, the Players Union in Cyprus. Tomorrow, boys and girls, is the PASP Awards, or are the PASP Awards, where they discuss the team of the year, and they've got many, how shall we say, entrants into this one. I don't know why Sim isn't there. The only Group B player is Conceição. Sim should be there. But then again, wasn't the voting done before January or something like that? I don't know.
I think it was done about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you who you voted for, by the way, but you should be there, bro. Come on. Like, no disrespect.
Next year.
Next year. Okay. When you get 8 goals, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Calm. All right. Well, listen, I don't want to do this right now because I think we need to do our team of the year. We're not going to do it now. But there are a lot of players there that I think deserve to be there. Some shouldn't, in my honest opinion. But it's going to be an interesting one to see, and it's going to be on cable net tomorrow. I think 9 o'clock Cyprus time, I think. So I'm definitely going to tune in for that. We're going to do updates on our Twitter and our Instagram and everything. So
yeah, and I'm going to yell about all the decisions that have been made, and then get a message from somebody at PASP saying, you don't like what's going.
Stop it. Stop. Stop. Sim, have you been in contact with PASP by any chance? Have you ever done anything with them?
Not recently. No. I think what was there? There was no, nothing actually. To be fair, I mean they're there if you need them. I think usually at the start of the season you get a subscription or something. So if you ever in need of them, or if you ever need some help or any advice or anything like that, they're always at hand.
You should be like an ambassador for them. You know, there's so many Brits in Cyprus. Mm-hmm. They should use you as like a poster boy kind of thing. Not with the Calvin Kleins or nothing. I'm just talking about like.
Can do that as well.
Hey, see. Now you're David Beckham status in Cyprus, bro. Right, Thasso, our final one. You know what it is, yeah? Yeah? You know what it is? Okay, let's go.
It's time to spin the wheel. What is coming? We don't know. In the wheel now.
Yes, Vrionides is back. The guy that decides who gets fined, who gets free food from Zorbaz, and who gets a discount on some beds.
Yep.
Take it away, Thasso.
Yes. So we've got two things I want to bring up in particular. So the first one is that is going to set you off a little bit. Is that Stavros Papastavrou, president of the company Omonoia Football Limited, has been fined regarding a post on social media on the 1st of May 2025 regarding the refereeing and the Cyprus FA after the match of the semi-final of the Coca-Cola Cup 2024-25 season. Because obviously he went and did his old diatribe about, Stepinski got a red card. Oh no,
it's not fair.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't like us. Koumas is corrupt. Tell us something we don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Tell us something we don't know.
Because that's what he does. That's what he does, Sim. That's what the Omonoia president does. When things don't go the club's way, he decides to release a statement blaming everyone else apart from him and his best mate, who've been running the club like a fucking brothel. But anyway.
Right.
I think you mentioned something about a tweet you put, didn't you? I think a few weeks ago or something. Yeah.
That's right. That's what he's got fined for.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, here's one as well. This one's for Hal in particular. This is Abea Agrodiri. They have been fined, and Jamari Leisner,
sporting director,
the sporting director,
president, owner, owner,
whatever he is. Anyway, he has been given a 3-match ban and a fine, and Abea Agrodiri have been fined because he was listed as other personnel on the match sheet, but he's not allowed to be on the bench because he's not in the Cyprus FA coaches register, and he doesn't have a license to practice his profession from the Cyprus FA.
Okay. So he's basically like a trainee doctor that hasn't got their doctor's license yet, but they're just performing surgeries and shit.
So I'm guessing, right, normally he doesn't sit on the bench for them, right? But because this was that cup final that they played, the lower leagues cup final, he was on the bench, and he's not supposed to be on the bench. So he's been given a 3-match ban and a fine for being on the bench in his team's lower league cup final.
He probably got that fine and he said, "Joke's on you, I'm never going to be on the bench again anyway, so whatever."
Unbelievable. One thing as well that I will put is that next week, Paralimni are going to get fined because a couple of their fans, there was a flare that was thrown on the pitch at one point, wasn't there? There was a red, like a proper crimson one that dropped on the pitch at some point. And Vrionides does not like that when the teams do that.
Nah, he's no fun at parties, mate.
He is no fun at
whatsoever.
parties. Yeah, exactly.
He's the one that caused noise and nuisance.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is how he is. You know,
I gotta ask, and now that I brought that up, because I don't think that Tassos Marco gets that full normally, right? Was it like, because it looked absolutely rammed? It looked like there was more people than seats in there, to tell you the truth, in that game. Like, how did that feel compared to other games normally?
No, I think it'd been fuller the 2 games before. I think, I think it'd been fuller. Like, it'd been against Salamina and against, I think it was Aradippou. I think they pretty much sold it out. I think this game there was some spare seats there.
Wow,
but I think they ended up like all cramming together at one point at the end, and it just, I think from the photos it looked a lot more busy because they was all on one side rather than spread out during the game. But no, I think because the previous 2 games they had like got tickets from if it was the mayor or one of the sponsors, I think it was. So it was crazy, to be fair. Like, we hadn't experienced that, but it was definitely a different atmosphere, and you know they were great throughout the whole game as well.
Yeah, it was.
Sim, have you ever been sent off? Have you ever been sent off in Cyprus?
Yeah. I got sent off once.
So did you ever meet this guy that's been handing out fines? Because he hands out fines to people that get sent off and stuff like that.
Possibly, but I think you just go straight through the club.
Ah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, so we went.
You'd have to do something pretty serious to end up in front of him.
Mm-hmm. It was just 2 yellows. It wasn't a straight red.
Okay. Yeah, because he doesn't like, red cards. He doesn't like people talking out of tone, and he doesn't like fireworks. So, his kids never celebrated bonfire night. It was just, Do you think like he's one of these people that is scared of fire? Maybe he's got a phobia.
I don't know, man. It's just because there's clubs keep getting fined all the time for the flares.
He's the fun police, bro.
But I mean, you say that, but Omonia never got fined for that inflatable
dildo
phallus.
Yeah,
that big massive phallus that fan was waving around.
Maybe he's got a side hustle. Maybe he sells toys on eBay. I don't know. Maybe
anyway,
he sells Temu sex toys. I don't know. Fuck knows.
Anyway, that has been this week's Vrionides.
You just know that when he's on fire and he's dishing out fines left, right, and center. That week where he was just fining everyone. Yeah. He was just fining everyone. That's probably when his cock ring wasn't working. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
It's time to spin the wheel. What is coming? We don't know. And now we know.
That is it. We are done. We've wasted an hour and 38 minutes of Sim's time. But Sim, thank you for joining us, bro. Really appreciate it. And congratulations again for an outstanding, half season? Half season, like incredible. Top goal scorer for the club, saved them from relegation. You see, even real heroes don't need capes.
It's been a pleasure. No, I appreciate you letting me come on. And you haven't wasted my time. No, I mean, we're free now anyway, so it's been a great half of the season, and I'm grateful for whatever happened, and whether it is top goal scorer for the team, I mean, and keep staying up in the league, it's a great achievement. I think we can take that onto use that confidence onto the next season.
Absolutely. Well, look, there's some very quick comments. I'm going to bring them up, old ones, obviously. But Pedro says, I'll take credit for Paralimni staying up, since I said if there was one team that can stay up, it will be them. Told you, Stel, that Paralimni and Aradippou are not for second division. They play too good. Let's have a look. There's one for you, Sim. What's going on with Seedorf's nephew, Sherwin? Has he shown any good signs? What's he like?
Oh, he's got serious potential. I mean, he's fast. I mean, I remember he came in, I think January. He was training with us, and he was doing really, really well. To be fair, he's he's everything you want in a winger. He's fast. He's strong. He's got a great finish. I think just in the system we was playing, it required different types of positions. But top quality player.
There we go. And Thussell, one for you. Can't decide if Thussell hates more AC7, we know who that is, or the Mushroom Man. Which one do you hate more? I think hate is a strong word for the first one, to be honest.
Yeah. No, the Mushroom Man is he's the one. I can't deal with it. Right, everybody. Sorry. I just need to put something out into the ether. Everybody that has been saying about like, I said it all along that Paralimni were going to stay up. Do you know what I said right at the beginning of the season? This isn't got anything to do with Paralimni, but it's something that I want to put out into the ether as well, because for once I'm right about something, right? You remember, ever since August, I was saying Omonoia Aradippou are going to stay up. Don't ignore Omonoia Aradippou. They're going to stay up. They're going to do a good job. They've got a good coach. They've got a pretty solid team. And I got laughed out of the room. When I was saying that in August.
Which room? Which room are you talking about?
Twitter.
Come on. You've lost the argument now.
Just
Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah. I'm just gonna bask in it. There we go. I can't predict who's gonna win the title, but I can predict who's gonna stay up.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. We're on Instagram and X at This Is Mappa. Sim's on Instagram. Give him a follow. And Thussell, he's just fucking Thussell. Anyway, go to our website, nc-network.com. We try and update it as much as we possibly can. And also, thank you to our partners, our betting company, Fonbet. Do it, Thussell. Do it.
Fonbet. The bet on the phone. The Fonbet. The bet on the phone. Yes. Here they are. Give him a little tickle.
Absolutely. Bye.